Do you honestly believe that finding the one will finally fix you? That once you have a beautiful woman by your side, the emptiness you feel when you're alone will magically disappear? You've been fed a lie, a comforting, cinematic, and utterly destructive lie. It's the lie that your life is a story waiting for its leading lady, that your purpose is to find her, and that her love is the ultimate prize. Let me shatter that illusion for you right now, before you waste another decade of your life chasing a ghost. The woman you're chasing isn't the key to your happiness. She's the lock on a cage you are building for yourself. A cage constructed with every needy text, every cancelled plan with your friends, every time you bite your tongue to avoid a conflict. A cage you are voluntarily walking into, believing it's a palace. I am 76 years old. I have built and sold companies. I have loved and lost women more beautiful than you see in magazines. I have stood on top of the world, and I have been crushed under its weight. And I am telling you, with the absolute certainty of a man who has lived it all, that I am infinitely happier today, alone in my home, than I ever was at 30, married, and desperately trying to please one person. In this video, I'm not going to give you 5 tips to feel less lonely. I'm going to give you the blueprint for a fortress. I'm going to explain the fundamental truth that separates the kings from the jesters. Why a man who has built his own kingdom is happier alone than a man who has only found a queen to serve. This isn't about hating women or rejecting relationships. It's about understanding the proper order of the universe. The core concept here is one you've likely never considered because it requires discipline. It requires you to turn your focus inward. The concept is sovereign solitude. Pay attention, because this is the foundation upon which every successful man, consciously or not, builds his life. Sovereign solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is a void. It's a gnawing emptiness, a lack of something external. It's the feeling you get on a Saturday night when you're scrolling through your phone, seeing other people's curated happiness and feeling like you're missing out. That is the state of a boy. Sovereign solitude is the opposite. It is a presence. It is a profound and unshakable peace that comes from knowing deep in your bones that you are the source of your own validation. You are the source of your own purpose, and you are the source of your own contentment. It is the quiet power a man radiates when he needs nothing from the outside world, because he has spent years meticulously building everything he needs on the inside. It's the difference between an empty house and a furnished castle. Both may be quiet, but one echoes with lack, while the other resonates with substance. Let me make this real for you. When I was 30, I was married. On paper, my life was perfect. I had a beautiful wife, a mortgage on a respectable house in the suburbs, a company car, and a career path that was considered promising. My family was proud. My friends were envious. I was, by every societal metric you can imagine, a success. And I was suffocating. I was profoundly, soul-crushingly miserable. Every decision, from what we ate for dinner to where we went on vacation, was a negotiation, a compromise. My time wasn't my own. It was a shared resource, and I was always in deficit. My emotional energy was a currency I spent constantly on pleasing, placating, and performing to maintain a fragile peace. My happiness was conditional. It was entirely dependent on her mood, her approval, her satisfaction with my performance as a husband. I was walking on eggshells in a house I was paying for. Now, fast forward 46 years. I am 76. I wake up in the morning when my body tells me it's rested. I drink my coffee on my balcony overlooking the ocean, and the only sound is the waves. If I want to spend the entire day reading philosophy, I do. If I get an idea for a new venture and want to fly to Monaco on a Tuesday to meet a potential partner, I book the jet. My entire world, every object in it, every minute of my day is a direct and unfiltered reflection of my will. I have wonderful friends. I enjoy the company of intelligent, beautiful women. I have children and grandchildren who I love dearly. But I am not owned. My soul is not mortgaged to anyone's emotional state. That freedom, that absolute and total ownership of your life, your time, and your mind is a state of happiness. No marriage certificate, no validation from a woman can ever hope to provide. It is a peace that has to be earned, not given. The biggest mistake you're making, the one that keeps you trapped in this cycle of seeking and disappointment, is that you view a relationship as an achievement. You think getting the girl is the finish line. You've been conditioned by movies, songs, and a feminized culture to believe that finding a partner is like finding the one missing piece of a puzzle that will finally make you whole. This is fundamentally, biologically, and spiritually wrong. You are not half of a whole. You are either a whole man or you are nothing at all. Let's analyze this with cold, hard logic, free from the sentimentality that is poisoning your mind. From an evolutionary perspective, a man's value was never, ever determined by his partner. His value was determined by his competence. His ability to hunt, to provide, to protect, to build, to lead. His ability to impose his will upon the world and create order from chaos. A woman was attracted to that competence. She was a welcome and essential partner in his journey. But she was not the journey itself. By making a woman the center of your universe, you are abdicating your natural throne. You are communicating on a primal level that she is the mission. You are telling her that your purpose is to win her. And a woman is not a mission. She is a companion for a man who is already on his mission. The moment you make her the prize, you automatically demote yourself to the role of a contestant. And what happens to contestants? They compete, they perform, they seek approval, they get tested, they do not get respect. Kings are not contestants in their own kingdom. They are the law. A woman cannot respect a man she can completely control. And a man whose happiness depends entirely on her is a man she can completely control. Let me paint you a picture you've seen 1,000 times. You might even be the star of this pathetic little movie. Think of that guy in your social circle or at your office. The nice guy. He works hard. He's dependable. He's safe. He finally gets a date with a woman he's been orbiting for months, liking her social media posts, doing her little favors. He's ecstatic. He thinks this is his big break. He spends a week planning the perfect date. He picks a restaurant that's slightly too expensive for him to impress her. During the date, he doesn't lead the conversation. He interviews her. What's your passion? What do you look for in a guy? He agrees with everything she says, even if he doesn't believe it. He's a political and social chameleon. He's desperately trying to be the man he thinks she wants. He insists on paying for everything, not from a place of genuine generosity, but from a place of transaction. He's trying to buy her affection. He walks her to her door, maybe gets a polite, passionless hug. The next morning, he sends the predictable text. I had a really amazing time last night. We should do it again soon. And then, crickets. Silence. Or worse, the slow fade. The one-word answers. The I'm really busy with work excuse. He is crushed. He goes to his friends and says, I don't get it. I did everything right. I was a perfect gentleman. He doesn't understand that he did everything wrong. He wasn't a gentleman. He was an applicant. His every action screamed, please validate me. Please tell me I'm good enough. He showed her that his entire sense of self-worth for that week was riding on her approval. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is a greater repellent to genuine female attraction than a man who outsources his self-esteem. So, what is the solution? It's simple to say, but it will be the hardest work you ever do. Stop trying to find the right woman and start the grueling, painful, and glorious process of becoming the right man. The kind of man who doesn't need a woman to feel complete and who, by that very nature, becomes a magnetic force. The solution is to architect a life so compelling, so full of purpose and meaning, that a relationship becomes a welcome addition, not the main event. It's the difference between building a campfire to attract warmth and becoming the fire itself. This process, this construction of the self, rests on 3 foundational pillars. These are the pillars of sovereign solitude. I call them the fortress of purpose, the laws of your kingdom, and the unbreachable treasury. Master these 3, and you will unlock a level of freedom and peace you currently cannot imagine. The first and most important pillar is the fortress of purpose. Your purpose is the non-negotiable granite center of your life. It is the thing you would do even if you were guaranteed to never get paid or late for it again. It is your business, your craft, your art, your physical discipline. It is the great work of your life. This purpose is the wall of your fortress. It's what you wake up for in the morning and what you think about before you fall asleep. Women, friends and family can be invited inside the walls to enjoy the safety and warmth of your kingdom, but they never, ever become the fortress itself. The moment a woman becomes your purpose, the walls of your fortress crumble into dust. You become a ruin, and no one wants to live in a ruin. After my divorce at 34, I was that ruin. I had nothing. My identity had been so intertwined with being a husband that when it was gone, I felt like a ghost. I was broken. In that desperation, I found my salvation. I poured every ounce of my energy, my pain, and my anger into building my first real estate company. I worked 18-hour days. I slept on a roll-out mattress in my tiny office because I couldn't afford both rent on an apartment and an office space. It was brutal. But for the first time in my life, I felt truly alive. It wasn't about the money, not then. It was about building something that was unequivocally mine, something that couldn't leave me or betray me. That struggle, that singular monastic focus, forged me into a new man. When I finally had my feet under me and started dating again years later, the dynamic was completely different. Women could sense it. I wasn't looking for a therapist to process my divorce. I wasn't looking for a distraction from my loneliness. I was a man on a mission, a man building an empire. They were fascinated by that energy. They wanted to be a part of the journey. Your application is simple but not easy. Tomorrow morning, before you dare touch your phone and pollute your mind with the world's noise, take out a pen and paper. Write down the one single objective you want to achieve in the next 5 years that has absolutely nothing to do with women. A business you want to start. A physical challenge you want to conquer, like a marathon. A skill you want to master, like a language or an instrument. That is your new North Star. From now on, you will dedicate the first hour of every single day to that mission. No excuses. That is you laying the first stone of your fortress. The second pillar is the laws of your kingdom. A kingdom without laws is just chaos. A man without standards is just a boy in a man's body. These laws are your laws, non-negotiable boundaries. They are the clear, simple rules for what you will and will not tolerate in your life. Not just from women, but from your friends, your family, your colleagues, from everyone. Most men have no real standards. They have preferences, sure, but they will bend and break them at the first sign of conflict, or for a chance at a woman's approval. They are emotional chameleons, changing their colours to please whoever is in front of them, terrified of being disliked. A king is not concerned with being liked. He is concerned with being respected. And respect is born from the consistent enforcement of clear laws. His laws are fair, they are understood, and they are ruthlessly enforced. Let me give you a concrete example. In my late 40s, I was dating a woman. She was brilliant, funny, breathtakingly beautiful, but she had one flaw that I saw as a symptom of a deeper disrespect. She was chronically late. Not by 5 minutes, but by 20, 30 minutes, every time. It was a subtle, almost deniable power play. A way of saying, my time is more valuable than yours. You will wait for me. The first time, I let it slide. The second, I mentioned it calmly. The third time, I was sitting at a table in a fine restaurant I had booked weeks in advance. She was 25 minutes late. I didn't text her asking where she was. I didn't wait in frustration. I calmly signalled the waiter, paid for the glass of scotch I was drinking, and left. From the car, I sent her a simple text. I value my time, and I expect the people in my life to do the same. This isn't going to work out. I wish you the best. She was floored. She called immediately, a torrent of apologies and excuses. She promised it would never happen again. But it was too late. The law had been broken. It wasn't about punishing her. It was about honouring myself. My peace and self-respect are more valuable than any single person's company. By enforcing my standard, I send a powerful message, not to her, but to myself. I am the priority in my own life. Your practical step is this. Sit down tonight and write out 3 to 5 non-negotiable laws for your kingdom. Be specific. For example, I will not tolerate being flaked on with less than 24 hours' notice. Or I will not engage in circular, emotionally driven arguments that have no goal. Or I will not financially support a healthy, able-bodied partner. The next time a person in your life violates one of these laws, you do not get angry. You do not argue. You simply state the boundary and enforce the consequence, which is usually your calm, decisive removal from the situation. You are the judge, jury, and executioner in your own kingdom. The third and final pillar is the unbreachable treasury. This is your absolute emotional and financial self-reliance. It is the deep, internal understanding that you are your own source of happiness and your own ultimate safety net. It means you do not rely on a woman's smile to feel good about yourself, and you do not rely on a single paycheck to feel secure. It's an internal state of abundance backed up by external preparation. You have built a treasury of internal validation and external resources that no person and no circumstance can ever completely take from you. Think of the stock market crash of 2008. I knew men, powerful men, whose entire identity was welded to their net worth. When their portfolios were wiped out, they crumbled. They were a husk. Their wives left them. Their confidence vanished. Some of them never recovered because they had built their entire sense of self on an external number. That crash cost me a fortune, a significant percentage of my wealth. It was a painful setback, but it was not a catastrophe that defined me. Why? Because my worth was never in the numbers on a screen. It was in my ability to generate value. It was in my skills, my network, my reputation, my resilience. My internal treasury was untouched. And so I rebuilt. Within 3 years, I had made it all back, and then some. This exact principle applies to relationships. When you have an unbreachable treasury of self-worth, a relationship ending is a loss, certainly. It can be painful, but it does not bankrupt you emotionally. You do not fall into a pit of despair because your one source of validation is gone. You are the source. She was simply a welcome guest who shared in the wealth. Your application for this pillar is twofold. First, the external. Starting today, you will build what is commonly called an FU fund. Open a separate high-yield savings account and set up an automatic transfer, no matter how small, from every paycheck. The goal is to accumulate at least 6 months of living expenses. The psychological freedom that comes from knowing you can walk away from any job, any situation, any relationship that compromises your soul is immeasurable. Second, the internal. You must cultivate a flow state, hobby, something you do purely for yourself, for the joy of the activity itself. It could be playing the guitar, hiking, coding, painting, martial arts, anything that absorbs you so completely that you lose track of time. This is you, actively minting the currency of internal validation. It's you teaching your brain that you don't need external praise to experience joy and fulfillment. Now, I want you to look down the corridor of time. I want you to see the 2 doors in front of you, because right now you are at a crossroads. Behind door number 1 is the path you are currently on, the path of least resistance. If you ignore everything I've told you today, if you continue to believe that a woman is the answer, let me tell you exactly what your life will look like in 10 years. You'll be the same man, just older and more tired. You'll still be chasing. You'll be on the relationship treadmill. You'll find a woman, maybe even marry her. You'll spend years contorting yourself to fit her expectations. You'll give up your hobbies because she doesn't like them. You'll lose touch with your friends because she demands all your time. You'll slowly, imperceptibly lose yourself in the process. Then, one day, it will all fall apart. She'll leave you, she'll cheat on you, or you'll just wake up next to a stranger, trapped in a silent prison of resentment. You'll be 50, divorced, paying alimony for a house you no longer live in, seeing your kids every other weekend. You'll be that lonely man at the bar, bitter and resentful, telling anyone who will listen how a woman ruined your life, never admitting that you handed her the hammer and nails yourself. You will be a ghost in your own life, haunted by the powerful man you could have become. Now look at doctor number 2. This is the harder path. The path of discipline, of solitude, of construction. If you commit to this path today, if you start laying the stones of your fortress, enforcing the laws of your kingdom and filling your treasury, your future will be unrecognizable. In 5 years, you will wake up and you will not even recognize the anxious, needy man you are today. You will look in the mirror and see a man who is calm, centered, and powerful. A man who moves with a purpose that is independent of anyone's approval. Women will be a wonderful, vibrant part of your life, but they will not be the center of it. They will be one of the many joys in a life you have built, not the sole source of it. You will have the freedom to choose your partners from a place of genuine abundance, not desperate scarcity. You will be able to walk away from a woman who is perfect on paper, but wrong for your soul, and you will feel no fear, only peace. You will travel. You will build. You will create. You will experience the profound, unshakable joy of sovereign solitude. You will be alone at times, but you will never again be lonely. You will be the man other men look to for answers. You will be the man whose presence women crave. You will be free. So let's be perfectly clear. Stop looking for a woman to complete you. A whole woman is not looking for half a man. She's looking for a man who has already built his own world and is graciously inviting her to come and share in it. Your job is not to find her. Your job is to build that world. Build your own empire of purpose, standards, and self-reliance first. Become so obsessed with your mission, so dedicated to your own growth, that you barely have time to notice who is watching you. That focus, that unwavering dedication to your own path, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It is the signal of a high-value man that cuts through all the noise. So stop chasing butterflies. Build a magnificent garden, and the butterflies will come. Your mission is the garden. Your self-respect is the fence around it. The rest, I promise you, will follow. This path is harder. Let there be no mistake about that. It requires discipline you haven't yet cultivated. It requires sacrifice you are currently unwilling to make. It's far easier to just keep swiping on apps, to keep chasing women, and to keep hoping that the next one will be the one who finally fixes you. But that is the path to mediocrity and quiet desperation. That is the path of the herd. I have given you the blueprint to the castle. I have shown you where to dig the foundation and how to raise the walls. Do not stand outside the gates complaining that the door is heavy. Start building the strength to open it. This isn't a game. This is your one and only life. Do not waste another second of it being a supporting character in someone else's story. It is time to become the author of your own. I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now. A public declaration. Go down to the comments section and write 3 words. I am the architect. No explanation, no questions. It's a statement, a declaration to yourself and to the world, that from this day forward, you are the one building your life, brick by brick. You are no longer waiting for a savior. You are the one who will save yourself. If you are serious about this transformation, if you are truly done being a passenger in your own life and are ready to take the driver's seat, then do the logical next thing. Subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. This is not a place for boys looking for tricks. This is a workshop for men who are ready to build. The real work begins now.